You see it every morning on the school run, your neighbour's brand new car, gleaming on the driveway, fresh from the dealership. What you never see is the finance agreement behind it, the PCP deal, the monthly drain that never truly ends. We compare cars, kitchens, and holidays. But nobody ever shows you the one number that actually matters, the ISA balance. In 2026, with taxes climbing in every direction, the ISA is the last true tax fortress left in Britain. So today we answer the question nobody asks out loud. What does the average Brit really hold inside that fortress? At 45, at 55, and at 65. The real numbers from the latest HMRC data. Let's walk through it. First, a warning. When the banks tell you the average ISA, they are quietly lying to you with the word average. Because the mean, the simple average, is dragged violently upward by a tiny handful of people at the very top. Right now, around 5,000 Britons are ISA millionaires, each holding over £1 million inside a tax-free wrapper. When you average their fortunes with everyone else, the number balloons into something no normal family ever recognises. So we ignore the mean. We follow the median instead, the person standing dead centre of the queue. The median is the true story of the British middle class. So let's meet them, decade by decade. Here is our first traveller, 45 years old, mid-career, and standing right in the squeezed middle of British life. Their median ISA balance sits at roughly £26,000, respectable but quietly under siege from every angle, because 45 is the age of maximum biological stress. The mortgage is heavy, the school run never stops. Childcare, clubs, uniforms, and the constant low hum of bills that arrive faster than the salary can absorb them. And then there is the silent thief, fiscal drag. Your pay rise pushes you into a higher tax band. The thresholds stay frozen while your wage climbs, so the taxman quietly eats the reward you worked so hard for. At 45, the ISA is a small seed, planted late, watered rarely, but planted nonetheless. The clock is ticking. Now we jump forward 10 years. Our traveller is 55. The children are older. The mortgage finally feels lighter. The median balance has climbed to around £51,000. The fortress walls are finally beginning to rise. But here, the road splits sharply into two. And the path you chose years ago now decides everything. On one side, the cash ISA savers. They felt safe. They watched the interest tick in and felt clever. But with inflation running near 3%, that safety was an illusion. Their money quietly lost value every single year. This is the cash trap. The number on the statement grew, while the real spending power silently shrank away. On the other side, the stocks and shares ISA users. For years, their progress felt painfully, frustratingly slow. Then, at 55, the compound snowball finally starts rolling uphill on its own. Growth begins, building upon previous growth, and now, the summit. 65 years old, the finish line of the working life is finally in clear view. The median ISA balance peaks here, at approximately £79,000. This is the moment of peak personal wealth. We call this financial bandwidth. The freedom to choose, to work less, to help the grandchildren, to simply breathe. But hold that number in your mind, because the contrast that comes next is genuinely staggering to witness. The typical 65-year-old holds £79,000. The top sliver of savers hold over £600,000. Same country, same ISA rules, same £20,000 limit, available to every single one of them, every year. The only difference was time, consistency, and one crucial decision about where that money was actually allowed to grow. So what separates the 79,000 from the 600,000? Two invisible forces nobody warned them about. Meet the first villain, inflation. At roughly 3% a year, it silently devours the purchasing power of your cash. Now meet the second, the platform fee. A polite 1%, charged quietly, automatically, regardless of how markets perform. On their own, they seem tiny. 1% here, 3% there. Surely nothing to lose sleep over. But combine them. 3% inflation and a 1% fee means your account must grow 4% just to stand still. If your cash ISA pays 3%, you are already going backwards. A growing balance that is secretly shrinking in real terms. This is the great illusion of British saving. The number rises, you feel safe, and the value quietly erodes beneath you. The wealthy understood this. They refused to let inflation and fees set a bear trap around their hard-earned money. So, how do you escape the trap? The strategy is not complicated. In fact, it is almost insultingly simple. Step 1. The pivot. Move from the cash ISA into the stocks and shares ISA. Let your money actually work. Cash protects you from a crash today, but it guarantees a slow defeat against inflation over the decades ahead. Step 2. Automate the limit. Every adult can shelter up to £20,000 a year, completely free from tax. You will not hit it all at once. Almost nobody does. But automate what you can and never miss a year. Set a standing order on payday before temptation arrives. Pay the fortress first and let the rest follow. Step 3. Keep your costs brutally low. Choose low-cost global index funds over expensive, actively managed alternatives. A single global index fund spreads your money across thousands of the world's biggest companies for a fraction of the fee. And somewhere in this process, something deeper changes. Not just your balance, but the way you see yourself entirely. You stop being a passive paycheck taxpayer, watching the deductions vanish before the money ever reaches your account. You become something else. A tax-free wealth architect, deliberately building a structure the taxman is not permitted to touch. The neighbor with the gleaming car is still a taxpayer, financing a depreciating asset that will be worthless within a decade. You are building a fortress that compounds in silence, growing year after year, entirely beyond the reach of HMRC. So let us return to where we began. The school run, the driveway, the car you were never meant to envy. The real lesson of this video is not £79,000. It is the gap between the median and the top. That gap was not built from luck, or a lottery ticket, or a sudden windfall falling from the sky. It was built from a single tax-free wrapper, used consistently, invested wisely, and protected fiercely across 30 patient years. Your ISA is not just an account. It is your ticket to outrunning a tax system designed to punish income. Start the climb today, plant the seed, automate the habit, and let the compound snowball roll. Your future self is waiting. If you learned something from this video, like and hit subscribe. See you in our next videos.